This is America in Space, a weekly news and information program on current events dealing with the space industry.
Welcome, and thanks for joining me today. I'm Dawn Meyer, Space Coast News Editor. We are nearing the launch of the second Axiom space mission, AX-2. It's the second privately funded mission to the International Space Station. The 4 AX-2 astronauts are a multinational crew that will conduct extensive research, investigate novel technologies, and engage with audiences around the world as champions of science, technology, engineering, the arts, and mathematics. Their efforts will continue to lay the groundwork and establish the key capabilities needed for Axiom Station, the world's first commercial space station. The AX-2 crew will fly aboard a SpaceX Dragon spacecraft to the space station to participate in a 12-day mission, including 10 days working and living on the International Space Station to implement a full mission manifest of science, outreach, and commercial activities. Axiom Space's Director of Human Spaceflight, Peggy Whitson, a former NASA astronaut and former International Space Station commander, will lead the privately funded mission. Aviator John Schaffner will serve as pilot. 2 mission specialists are Ali Al-Karni and Rayana Barnawi from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Here are Whitson and Schaffner speaking on NBC television about their mission.
Our mission is very specific and, relatively short, 12 days long. So we're trying to optimize the training for those few days that we're going to be up there. But we're using these short duration missions, Axiom is, to prototype how we're going to do it when we have the station building and constructed. I think it's really an exciting time because it shows you, SpaceX has done a phenomenal job getting up commercial crew carriers, and so they're carrying up NASA astronauts, and in our case, private and government astronauts are going up to the space station as well. And then there are other companies out there that are trying to do same or similar with either building stations or developing other launch vehicles to get crew into orbit.
I've been a student of spaceflight my whole life. I've enjoyed it. It's time for me to go, actually. And I've got a great commander. Her record speaks for itself. So I'm on standby following her lead. We've got a good training group between Axiom and NASA and SpaceX. The collaboration is beautiful. And it's coming together as a means to get us all headed toward space and the future. It's really wonderful.
Peggy Whitson is the AX-2 commander. She's America's most experienced astronaut. In her record-breaking NASA career, she flew on 3 long-duration space flights and accumulated 665 days in space, more than any other American astronaut or woman astronaut in the world. Whitson has over 37 years of space and science experience with NASA as an astronaut and consultant, and now as Director of Human Spaceflight for Axiom Space. She has held various positions, including NASA's Chief of Astronaut Office, 2-time Commander of the International Space Station, Chair of NASA's Astronaut Selection Board, Chief of NASA's Operations Branch, Deputy Division Chief for both Medical Sciences and Astronaut Office, as well as the co-chair of the U.S.-Russian Mission Science Working Group. On AX-2, Whitson will become the first female commander of a private space mission, adding to her accomplishments as the first female commander of the International Space Station, the only woman to serve as ISS commander twice, and the first female non-military chief of NASA's Astronaut Office. Whitson grew up on a farm near Beaconsville, Iowa, and decided to become an astronaut after she watched the first moon landing on television as a child in 1969. Whitson received degrees in biology and chemistry from Iowa Wesley and a doctoral degree in biochemistry from Rice University. She holds the record for most spacewalks by a woman, 10 walks totaling over 60 hours. Whitson has been honored by NASA with medals in leadership, outstanding leadership, and exceptional service, as well as Glamour's Woman of the Year in 2017, the Time 100 Most Influential People in the World in 2018, and Woman in Aviation Lifetime Achievement Award in 2017. John Schaffner will be the AX-2 pilot. He is a STEM advocate, business pioneer, pilot, and lifelong space enthusiast. Schaffner currently lives in Knoxville, Tennessee, and is honored to have the opportunity to achieve one of his greatest life's dreams and to use the AX2 mission to ignite a passion for STEM education in teachers and students worldwide to pursue their ambitions. Born in Fairbanks, Alaska, and raised in southeast Kentucky, Schaffner has been a pilot since he was 17, accumulating more than 8,500 flight hours. He holds a commercial instrument, single and multi-engine rating in both land and sea aircraft and helicopters, and other ratings in ex-military jets and high-performance radial engine aircraft. Schaffner's professional career led him to the forefront of the fiber optics telecommunications industry at its early stages. He formed Duraline Corporation, which remains as a world market leader today. Space and science has served as primary interest throughout his life. At 8 years old, when the space race was getting underway, Schaffner formed a Young Astronauts Club with friends in his hometown of Middleborough, Kentucky, closely following the missions of Gemini and Apollo. His early interests also extended to amateur radio and photography, and during the AX2 mission he is planning many amateur radio contacts and photo projects from the International Space Station. Through the AX2 mission, Schaffner will work to bring awareness to the new era of space access through scientific research, technology demonstration, and various outreach and educational events aimed at empowering educators and inspiring students to follow their core interests. Schaffner believes this new era has opened doors for careers never before possible, and that STEM education is the best tool to equip students to achieve their goals and live their most purposeful life. Ali Al-Qarni will serve as the AX2 mission specialist. He is an astronaut from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Al-Qarni graduated with a Bachelor of Aerospace Science from King Faisal Air Academy and is an Air Force captain and fighter pilot with 12 years of experience flying fighter aircraft with 2,387 flight hours. Rayana Barnawi is serving as a mission specialist for the AX2 mission. She's an astronaut from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and is the first Saudi woman to embark into space. Barnawi is a Master of Biomedical Sciences from Al-Fazni University and a Bachelor from Biomedical Sciences at Otago University. She's a research laboratory technician with 9 years of experience in breast cancer and cancer stem research. Whitson and Schaffner detail what they see for the next 10 years of space travel.
10 and 20 is a little harder to predict, but if you think about, we've been doing this for 60 years, and the last 23 years we've had human presence in space, in low Earth orbit. I'd like to see in 20 years that we would have the same presence beginning on the lunar surface or in a space station orbiting the lunar surface. And then beyond that, of course, we need to be exploring other planets, Mars on top of the list.
When I was growing up, I had a lunchbox that had a great image of Astro, whatever it was, on the Mars and Moon. I think we're headed into an era where that is now real. It's no longer science fiction. We're developing it, and we're going to make it happen. So, as a people, we're space is going to come to us, and we might as well get on and start figuring out how to make it work.
Axiom Space's AX2 mission continues progress toward Axiom's International Space Station module in 2025 and eventually their private space station as humans venture farther for longer duration in space. Thank you for joining me. Remember each Tuesday to join David Denault for America's Return to Space, and join me every Friday for America in Space. From the Florida Space Coast, I'm Dawn Meyer, Space Coast News Editor for About Space Today.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to share our program with your family and friends and follow us on Facebook. Join us each week for news and information on America in Space.